Welcome to How to Survive Divorce Without a Rebound, a Chocolate Coma, or Complete Life Meltdown. I'm Chrissy, an internationally certified divorce coach and mum. If life has handed you a divorce-shaped plot twist you didn't ask for, you're in the right place. Because while I can't make the paperwork disappear, I can help you navigate this chapter without losing your mind, your dignity, or your entire stash of emergency snacks. Each week, I'll help you navigate this chapter with more confidence, clarity, and a lot less overwhelm. So, whether you're listening from the school pickup line, hiding in the pantry for 5 minutes of peace, or taking a walk to clear your head, I'm so glad you're here. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the podcast, beautiful mothers. Today's episode is one that is very close to my heart and one that I've wanted to record for quite some time because we're talking about a tool that genuinely helped me survive one of the hardest seasons of my life, probably the hardest season of my life, my divorce. And if you're going through a separation or you've been through divorce, you'll know that it's not just the legal process that's overwhelming. It's the fear, it's the uncertainty, it's the anxiety, those 2 a.m. racing thoughts of, will everything be okay financially? What if I'm alone forever? How am I going to do this on my own? And in the thick of it, I remember having panic attacks several times a day. I didn't know how to calm my mind or to stop my nervous system from feeling like it was just constantly in survival. And that's when I thankfully was introduced to EFT, which is emotional freedom technique, or otherwise known as tapping. And I was introduced to it by today's guest, Nina Nyback. Nina Nyback is an accredited EFT practitioner, certified coach, qualified teacher, IT product learning designer and author. But what makes her work so powerful is that she's walked the path herself. Nina went through divorce herself. She immigrated to Australia from South Africa with her family, and after years of struggling with debilitating panic and anxiety, she discovered EFT and it completely changed her life. And now she helps other people regulate their nervous system, rebuild their confidence and find that clarity during their toughest seasons. She's also one of my best friends and someone who has helped me through every dark moment of my divorce, which I am so incredibly thankful for. Today, Nina's going to share with us about what EFT actually is, how it works, and why it can be so effective during this survival season of divorce. And she'll even do a live demonstration on me so we can experience it for ourselves. Nina, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Chrissy. Thanks. It's great to be here.
Oh, it's so good to have you here. I'm so excited. I really have been wanting this for so long because I was just thinking about it on the drive here this morning, how I just genuinely want people to know that this tool exists and how to do it, because it really does help. And I don't know if I would have gotten through if I didn't have this tool. So thank you so much for sharing it. All right, so I'd love you to share with the listeners how you first discovered and used EFT and what drew you to the work.
Well, initially, like you said, I did have debilitating anxiety, and some people knew about it. I was good at putting up a front. And one of the people who knew about it gave me a DVD of an EFT, like it was a weekend retreat that people did. And I was like, what's this? I watched it and I was like, oh, that's weird. I don't even know if I tried it. I might have, but I just had no idea what I was doing. Because it was a little bit of a documentary, it wasn't really a self-help introduction or something like that. And I put it aside because clearly it didn't work. And then I came across it again. I cannot remember what the second time was. I again gave it half of an opinion. It didn't work. And then the third time it came across my path, I was like, fine, I'll listen. Okay, what is this thing? And I thought, I'm going to investigate training because that's how I learn and I teach. And I thought, well, I'm going to do this properly. But the training was in person. And then COVID hit, which did a lot of good things as well. And one of them was they now allowed people to take the training online. So I signed up, and it was a lady in Seattle in the States who ran it. And I had to get up super early to join with all the other Americans. And I did the training, and I was like, oh, this is how it works. And I finally figured it out. And then I absolutely fell in love with it because it really does work.
It does.
So there's a couple of things that you need to know about why it doesn't work for everybody. why all those tap-alongs, they do help and then they don't. But yeah, it really, really, really does work. And there's lots of studies that have been done on clinical trials and things. So yeah, I'm super excited.
So for someone who's never heard of EFT before, how would you explain it to them?
There's a couple of different ways I explain it. So I kind of figure out who I'm talking to, what language I would use. Is it somebody who's in the medical field? Is it somebody who's like, what is this thing? Is it somebody who's like, I've tapped a few things on YouTube? So it does depend on who I'm talking to. But in general, I would say that emotional freedom techniques is a set of tools, and they're different ones, which you don't know unless you do the training. And what it is it helps your nervous system to re-regulate. So when we're in a state of anxiety, one of the things that happen is you can't think straight.
Oh, yeah. Know that one well.
Yeah, it's like when you try to sit down and do a test and you're like, oh, blank. So why that happens is the blood flow, glucose and oxygen moves from the front part of your brain, which is what you need to think and do a test. It moves to the back part of your brain because that's where you need it to run, fight, do whatever to get out of the action. And as a result, you can't think clearly. So what tapping does is it brings that blood flow, glucose and oxygen back to the front part of your brain and you are more in control of yourself. So that's one of the easiest ways to explain it.
Yeah, I do remember that very clearly when I first started it as well, how quickly it was able to calm myself down, and quite incredible to go from the back to the front and be able to do that very quickly. I remember when you first introduced me to tapping, I was very skeptical. So let's talk about that. Many people hear about tapping and think that it sounds a little strange. What do you say?
I'm like, duh, it does look strange. You are quite correct. Nobody walks around going, yeah, I'll just, tap on my face and maintain a general demeanor. So it's true that because it looks weird, we think, I'm not so sure. I'd rather, pop a pill because it's so much more acceptable. But the other thing is that you can't actually think that you can have such instant results.
Yeah.
So on the one side, you're like, it looks weird, but okay, I've overcome the weirdness. And you're like, what? What happened here? Why is this gone? And it almost feels in the realm of, well, I can't believe it because it's too easy. So yeah, that's why we're skeptical.
Yeah, I definitely felt that at the beginning. What evidence is there to back up this method?
The two people who've done extensive research on it is Dr. Dawson Church in the US and Dr. Peter Stapleton. She is from Bond University in Australia. She's done a lot of meta-analysis on studies. She's done clinical trials. He's done clinical trials. He's also done analysis. If you go onto either of their websites, there are links with lots and lots and lots of studies. Dr. Dawson Church has done a lot of studies on vets and PTSD. And Dr. Peter Stapleton has done studies on pain management, on addictions, and lots of other things as well. And they've compared it to what the current gold standard practice is. So, yep, it's really shiny.
And what would you say the differences are between using EFT technique to, say, a traditional therapy?
Well, if you're talking about talk therapy, just traditional talk therapy, here's the problem. I am talking about a traumatic thing. So because I feel traumatized, the blood moves away from the front part of my brain and I don't know what to say anymore. So how do you talk through something when you've lost that ability to actually clearly articulate what's going on? And you can often feel re-traumatized. So there is one of the EFT techniques, which is kind of a tap and talk. And that helps. So even if you do your talk therapy, but you're just tapping alongside of it, you're able to make more sense of what's going on. And that's what we want to do. We want to make meaning of these difficult times in our lives.
So could people use both some sort of talk therapy and EFT?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. That makes total sense what you're saying, because my daughter really struggled with, as you know, she really struggled with articulating what was going on. And maybe you could share with the listeners a little bit about the form of EFT that worked for her when she couldn't get the words out.
Well, what really helps, especially for children, and that with children, it's a bit of a hard thing to figure out whether it's because emotionally they can't verbalize it because they're stuck in trauma or because they're just too young, they don't know how to describe their emotions. So you can, at any time, often with children, but with adults, you can defer to something called picture tapping. This was developed by, his name's escaped me at the moment, he's a UK EFT practitioner. Whereas you draw pictures of how you feel and you don't even talk about what it is. You just draw it, and we're not talking about works of art. We're talking about drawing angry, drawing sad. So it's literally whatever comes up. And by doing that, you're engaging different parts of your brain, and it helps to release that emotion. And you do that with then tapping on the picture and moving through it in a fairly structured way.
Yeah, I remember there was one period of time when I couldn't articulate either. I was really struggling. I think it was in my really bad moments. And we used that technique for me too.
Oh, it's fun.
And I know it is so fun. It is. And it's fantastic to see how the drawings, the pictures evolve through the session as well. Really, yeah, so powerful. Something so simple, but so powerful. So, yes.
I know. I'm often amazed because you'd work through an issue with maybe between 5 and 7 pictures. And I am impressed. I'm like, oh, look. It worked.
It's so good. Anyone who hasn't tried it needs to try it. One thing that I found fascinating was that I could actually feel my anxiety levels change dramatically from sheer panic down to calm in not a very long period of time, so a pretty short period of time. And we had to measure, which you can explain to the listeners, I had to measure the intensity from the beginning to the end. Why do we do that?
Well, there's several reasons. The first thing is when you measure it, you have to kind of step back a bit and go, what's going on here? So you put a number up between 0 and 10. So you become aware of, oh my gosh, I am really freaked out because, look, I feel my number as a 10 or something. It gives me as a practitioner, if I'm working with someone, I get a sense of several things. One is how deeply traumatized this could be. So I've got to be a little bit more careful. I want to create a safe space, make sure that the person doesn't get re-traumatized. There are some people, though, who would measure everything as a 5 or everything as a 3, and that also helps to see what it is. But the second one, and this is the one that you would also use in your own self-help work, is to see if there's a difference. So did that number go up, which means I've actually tuned into a different aspect which is bothering me more, or did it go down? How much did it go up? How much did it go down? Did it stay the same? So it informs your practice.
Yeah. And I think many women listening are all in that survival season of their divorce, and they're worried. They're not yet worried about thriving. They're more just trying to get through their day. What are some of the most common fears you see women bring into EFT sessions during divorce?
Overwhelm. Overwhelm is definitely it.
Yeah.
You used to have somebody who could help you manage life and help work with all the practicalities of things, and now it's all up to you. And you start feeling very vulnerable because, the rug's been pulled out from underneath you. Nobody gets married thinking, gee, I think I'll get divorced in X number of years.
Yeah.
So it's a big shock, surprise thing. And it's those things of like, what happened? So kind of they are the big ones that you need to work through before you can get to some of the other emotions.
And what do you think happens to the nervous system during that divorce season for those women?
Oh, it's on fire.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's a great way of describing it. Funny, not funny. It is definitely a way of describing it, yes. And, why do you think even those small decisions just suddenly feel so overwhelming? Because that's what I felt like. Even just deciding what to make for dinner. Even as I say it now, it gives me
You better tap
on. What for dinner? Yeah, like why are those small decisions just so overwhelming?
It's because I always think of you having a bucket, and that bucket is full of how much I can cope with in my day. So if my bucket is full because I've had good sleep, I've had some fun times, I've had good food, my bucket is full and I can cope with what life throws at me. And usually life doesn't throw too much at you at one stage. But with a divorce, it's emptied the bucket and it's looking for more. And you're like, I got nothing.
Yes.
I got nothing. Now you also don't have the recharge opportunities. Your sleep is poor. Everybody else pushing your buttons. You don't know what you're going to do. Yeah. You've got to rethink things. So you're traveling with an empty bucket and you're being kind of stabbed from all sides.
Oh, yeah. You're so good at articulating that. It's so true. Only someone that's been through it can really, truly articulate that. What are some of the emotional patterns that you see divorced women commonly?
Oh, it's a bit of a roller coaster. I feel so sad for myself because there goes my happily ever after Cinderella style.
Yes.
And then you're like, I'm so mad at this person. I could literally just kill them and let me think of how many ways. And then you're like, oh, the kids. And it's just a flood of emotions, and you can't really settle on one because you cycle through them.
Yeah, in one of my other episodes, I call it 4 seasons in one day, but I also call it in 1 minute, 1 second. It's just like they're just constantly, you're berating yourself so much about when it's fluctuating. So you'll be in a great space and then you think, oh, I'm doing really well, and then you crash and you think, oh, what's wrong with me? Why can't I do that? It's constantly up and down, that feeling of overwhelm. It just overtakes you.
It is. And second guessing yourself as well. What could I have done differently? No, it wasn't my fault. Yes, it was. And blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we continue, a quick reminder that if you're going through separation or divorce right now, you don't have to do it alone. My 4-week How to Survive Divorce program helps mothers navigate the survival season with practical tools, weekly live coaching, Q&A support, direct access to me, an internationally certified coach who has personally survived divorce, and a community of women who truly understand what you're going through. I also offer one-on-one coaching if you're looking for more personalised support. You'll find all the details in the show notes or at thisismechrissy.com. Now, let's get back to the episode. I was thinking about all the fears I had during my divorce, which I have tapped on many of these. I just thought I'd list them because these are the sorts of things that you can use tapping for to help calm those fears. I had fear of being alone, fear of financial insecurity, the fear of the future, the fear of not being enough, fear of co-parenting challenges, fear of starting over, fear of judgment for others. Maybe some of the listeners, some of those fears might ring true to them. But interestingly, when I needed EFT the most was when I didn't actually know what specifically was causing my anxiety and panic. So I would call you and I'd say, I'm having a panic and I don't know why. And it was actually through the EFT that you were able to help me calm myself and actually figure out what was making me anxious in the first place. So one of the biggest ways of course, understanding EFT is to actually experience it. We could talk about it all day, but unless you've experienced it, you can't, it's best to experience it. So I'd love us to work through a fear.
Can I just interrupt you there for a little bit? And this is one of the reasons why I feel that all those YouTubes, they do work, and I'm really glad people are putting lots of them out there because it's exposing people to EFT. But why it sometimes does not work for you is because you've got this fear or this anxiety, but you don't know what the heart of it is.
Yes.
So when you tap along with somebody just on anxiety, it does reduce your level. But because you haven't tapped in and cleared the actual thing that's caused it, it will resurface.
Yes.
So with EFT, in order to clear something, you have to be specific about what you're clearing. And EFT is fantastic because the subconscious has all these connections and networks. And when you're tapping on one thing, you have to tune in and then you're like, what is going on? Keep on tapping and asking yourself, why am I feeling this? Why am I feeling this? And then you'll get it.
Yes.
And you'll go, oh, this is underlying that thing. Because we complex beings and we have layered emotions and you don't always know what's really at the bottom of it.
Yes.
So tapping is very effective at drilling through that and getting to the bottom of those layers.
Yeah, you just reminded me of all of those tapping sessions I had with you and how I would go on all those tangents because it would bring up something else and then something else and something else, and there was a layer and layer and layer. And it made me think about how it was a bit challenging trying to do it on my own. And it's not to say that the listeners can't try it on their own and make it a practice, because once I'd learnt it and worked with you enough times, I knew what I was doing and I knew how to do it. So I will say if the listeners can get access to an EFT practitioner, 100% I would recommend that in the interim, like the beginning stages, learning how to do it, because often I found that I would block myself as well. I don't know if that's a thing, but I couldn't quite get to that layer. And I'm not sure if that's a subconscious thing. Is that?
I think that's because you're trying to hold too many balls in the air at the same time.
Yeah.
So the term in EFT is called daisy chaining. I start off with one thing and I'm like, oh, there's this thing, and oh, there's that thing, and oh, there's that thing. So if you've got somebody holding space for you, they can go, let's pause and clear this thing
Yes.
first. Or, all right, I'll just make a note of all these other things and we'll figure out what to work on.
Yes.
So it's not that you need the practitioner because it doesn't work for yourself. It's like, how many balls am I now going to, I remember this thing, I remember that thing, I remember.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to kind of pause yourself and go, I'm just going to write this down carefully because you're not in that space.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so that's where it's really helpful to have someone else do it with you.
All right, so let's work through a practical demonstration for our listeners. I've picked one that is relevant to me right now because I want it to be real. So I'm really worried about how not to burn out trying to raise my kids and run my business at the same time.
All right, so you'd say that the emotion is worried?
Fear, worry.
All right, fear. Do you feel that anywhere in your body?
Yeah, I feel it. Oh, I feel it in my chest.
All right, and if you had to rate that 0 to 10, 0 meaning no fear and 10 meaning the top of it?
Oh, it's probably about 9. Yeah.
All right, okay. That's all right. So we're going to start tapping on the side of the hand, and just for the listeners, either hand is fine, and you can even switch hands in between. We're going to do the setup statement, which we will repeat 3 times. There's a couple of technical things and nuances, and I'm not in training mode, so I'm not going to explain all of them.
Yes.
And the other thing as well is I will call out the points, and even with interrupting the session like this, it still works. So sometimes we have a lot of fun in sessions and we laugh a lot, so that's okay.
Okay.
All right, so start at the side of your hand. Oh, I'm going to have to remove one of these noisy rings.
Oh, that's all right.
Apologies for that. I should have done that.
Nice rings.
Thank you. All right, so tap on the side of the hand and you just repeat after me. And oh, yes, for the listeners, what you could do is you could actually think of a recent event that has bothered you, not something hugely traumatic, not something that's going to give you an over 5 number, and write it down and then tap with us.
Yeah,
and afterwards, check your number and you'll be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so tap on the side of the hand and repeat after me. Even though I feel this fear in my chest.
Even though I feel this fear in my chest.
When I think about raising the kids and running a business at the same time.
When I think about raising the kids and running a business at the same time.
It spells burnout in capital letters.
It spells burnout in capital letters.
But right here and right now, I'm okay.
But right here and right now, I'm okay.
Just for the listener's side note as well, that tail end of there, right here and right now, I'm okay. I like that one. A lot of EFT online things say, I deeply and completely accept myself, or I deeply and completely love and accept myself. If you do, use that. If you don't.
No, the first one resonates for me.
Yes.
Yeah, that you say.
Yeah, and if you're feeling particularly angry or something, you can always just say, I accept that this is how I feel.
Yeah.
And that helps. There needs to be an acceptance at the end of it. All right, let's go again. Even though I feel this fear in my chest.
Even though I feel this fear in my chest.
When I think of raising my kids.
When I think of raising my kids.
And running a business at the same time.
And running a business at the same time.
Right here and right now, I'm okay.
Right here and right now, I'm okay.
Even though I feel this fear in my chest.
Even though I feel this fear in my chest.
When I think of raising my kids.
When I think of raising my kids.
And running a business.
And running a business.
All at the same time.
All at the same time.
Burnout. But right here and right now, I'm okay.
But right here, right now, I'm okay.
All right, top of the head. This fear in my chest.
This fear in my chest.
Origin of the eyebrows. This fear in my chest.
This fear in my chest.
On the side of the eye, on that bony part. This fear in my chest.
This fear in my chest.
Under the eye, on that bony part. Sorry for the glasses, people. This fear in my chest.
This fear in my chest.
Under the nose. This fear in my chest.
This fear in my chest.
Under the mouth. This fear in my chest.
This fear in my chest.
Then on the collarbone, just under the 2 collarbone points to the side. This fear in my chest.
This fear in my chest.
And then the side of the body, just about a hand breadth down from your pit. This fear in my chest.
This fear in my chest.
Right, let's go again. This fear in my chest.
This fear in my chest.
Eyebrow, burnout.
Burnout.
Side of the eye. I can't do it all.
I can't do it all.
Under the eye. I have no choice.
I have no choice.
Under the nose. Burnout.
Burnout.
Under the mouth. This fear in my chest.
This fear in my chest.
Collarbone. This fear in my chest.
This fear in my chest.
Under the arm. Burnout.
Burnout.
Top of the head. I have to raise my kids.
I have to raise my kids.
Eyebrows. They're going to get bigger, but I have to still raise them.
They're going to get bigger, but I have to still raise them.
Side of the eye. And I love my business.
And I love my business.
Under the eye. It's challenging at times.
Well, it's challenging at times.
Under the nose. This burnout.
This burnout.
Under the mouth. This fear in my chest.
This fear in my chest.
Collarbone. This fear in my chest.
This fear in my chest.
Side of the body, how am I going to do it?
How am I going to do it?
Top of the head, this fear in my chest.
Fear in my chest.
Eyebrow point, burnout.
Burnout.
Side of the eye, burnout.
Burnout.
Under the eye, burnout.
Burnout.
Under the nose, this fear in my chest.
This fear in my chest.
Under the mouth, oh, maybe I can do it.
Maybe I can do it.
Collarbone, this fear in my chest.
This fear in my chest.
Side of the body, this fear in my chest.
This fear in my chest.
Top of the head. I've managed so far. Eyebrows, quite surprisingly.
Quite surprisingly.
Side of the eye. And I can still laugh.
And I can still laugh.
Under the eye. I started a podcast. Under the nose. I'd love to help other people.
I'd love to help other people.
And I love raising my kiddos.
And I love raising my kiddos.
This fear in my chest.
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 Take a deep breath in and out. Have a sip of water.
Yeah.
All right, let's remeasure that.
Yeah, it was interesting. I don't know if you could hear, the listeners could hear, but there's a point that I sighed. And that's often sometimes I'll either yawn or I'll sigh. And as soon as I sighed, it shifted. I could feel it through my body. So the more you do this, the more you recognize that shift. And I feel it so clearly. And yeah, it went down definitely. I'd say maybe a 5.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
So as a practitioner observation.
Maybe even less than that because I really did breathe, maybe even down to a 4, yeah.
Yeah, so that is interesting because it can keep on shifting because your body's letting go and it's realizing, I don't have to actually be so tense. Oh, yes, it's not that bad. So it does sometimes keep going down.
Yes.
I could see that moment.
Yes.
And I saw it.
You could.
And so this is why people think they can't do it themselves, because I changed the wording. The very basic recipe is to just tap on all the points and keep on repeating this emotion in my body part, which would have been this fear in my chest, this fear in my chest, this fear in my chest.
Yes.
I do like to do what we call a round of tapping, focusing on the emotion and the body part. But then and you have to be an experienced practitioner to do this, just find out where you can start shifting it.
Yes.
And you need to, why I brought in the words of the actual event is because that's what we're focusing on. And this was not even a specific event. This was still very broad.
Yes, very.
So that's why I would imagine it would only stop at a 5 or a 4. So in order to do this properly, I would go, give me an example of where you're juggling, raising your kids and the business so that we can actually pinpoint what it is. Because when we can tune into that memory, either a past or a future memory, then we can clear that more properly. So this is what I would call a bit of a global one. And so that overwhelm I would expect is going to come back until we deal with some specifics. Sorry.
That's all right. No, I just wanted listeners in this first episode to really just get an overview of what it was without it being too daunting, and then consider reaching out to an EFT practitioner to start with. But I would love, maybe potentially down the track, we could get listeners to share some of the concerns or fears that they have, and we could do practice of that on air for them to see how it actually works. I think would be really powerful for them to see with something that's quite specific, and intense, that has that high intensity and is very specific to what they're going through at the time.
I would be a bit careful with doing a very specific thing because if we're dealing with a little bit of a bigger trauma, people react differently to trauma.
Oh, yeah.
And so you need to sit in front of somebody and hold the space for them.
Yeah.
Because some people can tell you a very traumatic memory and they can hold it together. And the other person, when they start, they just fall apart. And we don't want that.
Okay, so maybe not.
But what we can do is if somebody measures like a 5 or 6 and they can go with, this is it. Yesterday, my ex rang and he said this and this and this. That's a very specific one. And if we generally tap in frustration or anger, that's a lot better than if you go down into some of the deep trauma things.
Yes. In fact, yesterday, I just had a woman talking to me about exactly that.
Surprise!
She was saying, my ex, blah, 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 and the frustration in her. And I had a few little tools to give her, but I just wanted to say EFT.
Yeah.
Because that's how, there's so many times that's how I've kind of gotten off the ledge when I've been really frustrated and angry.
Well, this is what I just wanted to say, that despite me saying it wasn't a very specific thing, you've had a shift.
Yes.
And so that shift enables you.
Yes.
It's filled your bucket, as to say.
Yes.
So that's enabled you to cope again with the demands that you have today.
Yes.
So this is generally what I do, because I'm on my way somewhere, I'm in a meeting, I'm something, and I'm like, there's no time to go and work through the specific. I'm just going to tap this emotion that's draining me right now, tap it away, and I can cope, and I'll shelve it for later. Later, I'm going to work through that.
Yes.
So that's a very good in-the-moment emergency tool, and then later on you can work through the details and specifics.
Yes. So is there a simple tapping practice that, so if there's listeners out there that might feel anxious tonight about something, is there something simple that they can do, practice that anyone could do?
Oh, 100%. When we are tapping, we're starting off with that even though, and then we're remembering what it was. So for you, it was tuning into raising your kids and running a business and burnout. That was the scenario. To be very specific, you want to know who's the one who's causing it, what is it, where is it, and when is it. That's the specific to answer it. But if right now I'm sitting in a hot panic, I'm already tuned in. I don't need to go, even though I'm sitting in a hot panic about whatever, I'm like, I am panicking right now.
Yep.
So you just tap on any point.
Yes.
You don't even have to talk.
Yes.
You can just tap on the point, because it'll send those signals through to your nervous system that it's okay, you're addressing it, you're paying attention, and you'll get that breathing space.
Yes. It's just making me think about all the times I've done it in the car.
Oh, 100%.
Those moments and sometimes just tapping my thumbs on
the steering wheel. That's right, because there are additional thumb points. Actually, they're on all the fingers, just on the inside when you look at your nail in the bottom right corner.
Yes.
Of all of your fingers.
Or when should somebody seek some actual support from a practitioner?
When you've got trauma and you realize you can't deal with it.
Yeah.
You then just kind of tap and you go, I'm putting it in a box, I'm putting it in a box, I'm putting it in a box. And you go find somebody. Or if you get stuck, or if you've got all these daisy chain balls up in the air, essentially when it's not working for you.
Yes.
That's when you find someone else.
All right. So just to end, this has been fantastic. I wanted to ask you 3 rapid fire questions. The first one is, best self-care advice during divorce?
Tap.
Yeah.
Totally. Just tap.
Great. Thought you'd say that one. What's one thing every woman needs to remember when she's starting over?
There's always hope.
And what gave you the most hope during divorce?
The fact that I didn't die. I literally survived. I'm like, I'm so surprised I'm still here.
Yeah.
So it made me realize that, well, yeah, we actually, as humans, even though we feel frail and fragile, we're quite resilient.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Nina. For the listeners, I hope today's conversation has shown you that you don't have to stay stuck in that fear, anxiety, panic, or overwhelm, and that divorce is hard enough without carrying every emotion on your own. What I love about EFT is that it's a practical tool. It's something that you can use in the moment when your mind is racing and when you're spiraling into those worst case scenarios, or when that fear just feels even bigger than you. And speaking from personal experience, it's one of the tools that helped me move from surviving to actually thriving. I still use it today all the time. So thank you, Nina. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and for supporting me. You've given not only to me, but to so many women navigating this difficult transition a tool that is so, so useful. So thank you. And please tell everyone where they can find you.
Well, I'm online, ninanyback.com. That's all the N's. And yeah.
Fantastic. All the details will be in the show notes. So if this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who you know may need it. And remember, just because you're in that difficult season doesn't mean that you're not moving forward. I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for being here. If this episode resonated with you, you'll find a summary sheet in the show notes, along with details about my one-on-one coaching and 4-week How to Survive Divorce program if you'd like additional support. If today's episode helped you feel seen or sparked a small step, don't forget to follow or subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. And if there's a woman or mother in your world that needs this kind of support, send this to her, because it might be the reminder, reassurance or support she needs right now. Until next time, be kind to yourself, skip the rebound, leave the chocolate coma behind, and keep taking one step at a time. Lots of love, Chrissy. Just a reminder that everything shared in this podcast is based on personal experience, coaching perspectives, and general wellbeing information. The stories and insights I share come from my own lived experience and are intended to support and encourage you, but every person's situation, relationship, and healing journey is different. What worked for me or for others may not be right for you. This podcast is not medical, psychological, legal, or therapeutic advice, and it's important that you seek support from qualified professionals for your own individual circumstances. Please use your own judgment and take what resonates with you while considering your own experiences, needs, and well-being. If you're struggling emotionally, experiencing severe distress, or feeling unsafe, please contact a mental health professional or emergency support service in your area. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next episode.